Today's episode is brought to you by Anthropic and their new AI model, Claude Pro. Get 50% off Claude Pro when you use our link, claude.ai/make it. That's claude.ai/make it, all one word, for 50% off your first 3 months. Now, on to the show.
It is detailed beat by beat by one of Nick's childhood friends who grew up to become a filmmaker.
Is that like a
and we
South
had him on
Park
the show
episode
very
or
early in
something,
the
or like
show's-
a?
I mean, it could be. You can see the pain in Nick's face right now. Like
I'm
is
sorry.
yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
is so like not.
I will move
It's
on.
okay.
We'll move on.
No,
So,
It's okay. It's a
so
long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, no, it could be an episode. Hey, God dang it, it's freaking.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Make It Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Barkley.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Buggs. What's up, man? It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you as well. And on this journey with us, per usual, is producer Papa Bear. PB, say hello.
hello.
There he is. And of course, this time we have a guest with us, unlike last week. The one and only, the esteemed Hayder Hoozeer. Hayder, say what's up.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. I should have said the BAFTA award-winning Hayder Hoozeer before.
You get it right.
I should have got it right.
Yeah.
Off rip. So the audience understands, like what we're about to get into. So it's going to be a fun episode per usual. We're going to get into some Story is King, audience polls, filmmaker Q&A, things we should know, clear the set, and of course we're going to end with Make It. So why don't we hop right in? Well, you know what I should do before I hop in, because I'm trying to get better at this. Before we do Story is King, Hayder, I just want to tell everybody out there that is on YouTube to please take this moment to subscribe and like this video. It means a lot. It means the world to us, and it really, really helps. And this is actual work. We mentioned this in a few of our ad reads, guys, right? That like people don't understand that this is a small business. It's a small business. Like it's a lot of work. Like we work on this all day, every day. So you're not just giving a subscribe for nothing, right? If you like the work we're doing here, you like the guests we bring on, the real filmmakers that make the industry run and work from behind the scenes to in front of the camera, behind the camera, give us a subscribe and like. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, to give us 5 stars there. Shout out to all those Spotify people. Nick, did you know we're up to 1,313 or something like that 5-star reviews on Spotify?
No, it's beautiful, man. Like the numbers keep increasing there, and even same thing with the views on YouTube, like cracking in the millions every year so far. We're loving it, and I'll just add on to what you're saying. Hey guys, comment down below. We want to hear what you think about what we're saying, what our guests are saying, what we should do next. It's really appreciated if you do it.
Yeah, and Hayder, you know this. Like as a filmmaker, we're all humble, but we're also have a little, I won't say ego to ourselves, but we're confident. We have to be confident. We have to be hustlers in a way. I don't love that word, but like we have to have grit, I guess. You have to have a little bit of like ability to overcome all the negative, to do the positive in your life. And because of that, you don't always want to lean on other people for advice. You don't always want to like be that person who's going to comment and show the vulnerability of not knowing anything. Here, I just want you to know you're in a safe space at Make It. You can ask the questions. We respond to 100% of them, and there's definitely no judgment. We will answer the question legit and without any kind of like BS. So with that being said, okay, Hayder, you ready for some Story is King?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Let's do it. Okay, first things first, tell the audience what we should know you for and what you're working on now.
Yeah, so my name's Hayder Hoozeer. I'm a British film producer based in London. I produced a film this year called Rock, Paper, Scissors. It's a short film. It's a fiction film based on a true story. And it is a war thriller about a young man and his father who set up a makeshift hospital in a bunker at the front line of war. And as they're waiting for an evacuation, they are tested as the a group of enemy soldiers are closing in on their location. So it's up to our young protagonist to try and help himself, his family, his friends, and everything that they stand for. So it's not a light story, but interestingly, my company is called Who's Here Films, and we focus on developing and championing stories that have a sense of wonder and inspiration, that people can find a sense of escapism in and experience other perspectives and lives outside of their own, especially people who are finding themselves in moments of difficulty or hardship. The idea of the films that we make are films that allow people to have something that they can kind of lose themselves in, even if it's for 20 minutes, 90 minutes. That's our goals and aspirations with the kinds of films that we look to make.
Well, you're off to a great start, I have to say. So we all watched the film. I got a lump in my throat at the end there, and I love adding sort of that the sort of the credits, the sort of post text there at the end where we realize this is a true story, and this person. You know, I'm not going to give it away. Everybody should go out and see Rock Paper Scissors. Where can they see it? Is it available to watch right now, or can
It's
we
not.
end up putting this in the show notes or anything
Yeah,
like
you
that?
can. I can share a link at the minute. We're currently still in our festival cycle. We are
Yep.
contending for the 2026 Oscars. So wherever your viewers might be, we'll be hosting a whole bunch of different screenings, presumably well, not presumably, but in LA, London, New York, Denmark, interestingly. So there'll be a few opportunities to be able to catch the film. I'm sure I can share our socials, and I can plug the socials so that you can kind of keep up to see where you might be able to catch the film.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate it, and I think you got a good shot at the Oscars. I mean, the performance you get out of the lead, Alexander. I'm forgetting his last name. What's
Rudinsky.
his last name, guys? Rudinsky. Yeah, the performance you get out of Alexander Rudinsky, unbelievable. But everybody's good in it. Everybody is good in it. The cinematography is unbelievable.
That's what I was
What
gonna
you
say,
did,
Chris.
yeah,
Cinematography,
unbelievable.
it's just spot on. Like you get the sense that you're there. I think that's the key for me. That's
Yes,
so well done.
Nick, you nailed it exactly. You're completely have you're in suspension of disbelief, right? Like you're there. You feel like you're in Ukraine. If the accents are spot on. These are all, and the reason I mention this stuff is, guys, is because these are all things that are really hard to nail in a short film, and they're really hard to nail if you haven't been making movies for 30 years. I mean, they just are. They're just hard to nail, and that's why a lot of times in this sort of short category that do get Oscar nominated or do win a lot of awards, you'll find out that they are maybe live, maybe animated, or maybe they're using marionettes, maybe they're using different types of animation and movement, or they're documentary shorts, right? It's hard to do it as a narrative sort of live action thing, and when you have limited resources. And Hader, you just crushed it with this, and I'm like, even the the production design and the props, the down to the Foley and the sound design. It was all just, how hard it is to get sound design right in an outdoor shoot where half of the movie or three-fourths of the movie's outdoors. Like, I know I'm glazing you a little bit here, but you deserve it. It was really fantastic. So kudos again.
Thank you so much for all of those kind words. It's a labor of love from all of the different members of the team. It was put together by such an incredible group of people who, one of the biggest things I can say about them is that there was no ego on this production. And I think that is the secret sauce for our success with the filmmaking, is that everybody brought their true and honest self to the production, and they just smashed it with their different, you're talking about like the production design, the designer Shivani, she spent so much time researching it, the cinematographer Sunshine, she put together so many different types of ideas forwards that the director Franz Bohm kind of took on board in a way that really made it into a collaborative effort. And you talk about Alexander Rudinsky, what he is truly the MVP in this production, in this film. I think his own background and his story, we managed to bring him, we got him over from Ukraine, and for him this was such a personal piece of storytelling that, being able to give him the space to be able to really explore what that character is and what that environment it looks like. It really means a lot to me to hear that was your feedback and that was your reaction to the film. It's very humbling. So thank you.
Yeah, and I don't want to forget about the writing. Did Franz, the director of this, write this as well?
Yeah, so it's actually a really interesting story. So the film is based on a real person called Ivan, who Franz, the director, had met. He's only 18, and I don't know if you know any 18-year-olds, but 18 is not a long life to have lived. So that when they met and they kind of grew a little bit closer in terms of friendship, Franz had learnt of this story that happened in this person's life, in Ivan's life. And it was just so obscene that this was something that he'd experienced and what had driven him to come. He joins as a volunteer to the Ukrainian military after the events of the film took place, and he was quite instrumental in the storytelling and the building of the project. And because of that, because it's his real life story, and because of that, we've made sure that he is recognized as one of the writers on the film. So between him and Franz, there was a lot of development sessions as well with some of the rest of the team. I worked with Franz as well to kind of fine tune it so that it translates from reality to screen. We had quite a lot of different script sessions, but primarily it was Franz and Ivan that put the story together.
Yeah, kudos to them. And look, the way I've presented you so far, the audience might think that you just sort of rolled out of bed and made this film, but you've been in production roles and in film roles for many, many years. Been doing this for a while. Certainly cut your teeth on a lot of TV and film, in the past, including one of my favorite shows, Master of None, where you're the production secretary. So shout out to that show, and Aziz Ansari. So I just want to let audience know, like, you've been producing and doing this for a minute, and it did take some time for you to grow the skill. So with that in mind, what was the moment that you knew you wanted to live a life in the creative arts or in film?
That's a really good question, because I think, firstly, film for me has been such a privilege to be able to say that this is now my day-to-day job. This is not like a hobby or a side hustle or something that, I've spoken to people before, when you talk about film with people who aren't in that type of that realm or that sphere, they always kind of think to themselves like, oh, that's really interesting. That's really cool that you do that as a, what else do you do? What else do you do? And it's such a blessing and an honor to be able to say that this is my career. This is something that I had chosen to do, and I've still seeing it through, and there's still a long way for me to go. But to get to that point now, it started when I was much, much, much younger, when I was pre-teen, I would say, where for me, films were a form of escapism. Like I would watch films and I would lose myself in these stories. And for me, it allowed me to be anybody else, like it allowed me to go and experience the world from the cinema, you know, or from my sofa or from my bed when I'm watching it on my laptop, or you know, it's probably not the greatest way to watch films on your laptop, but
Yeah.
the idea was that for me, I would say that film was a form of therapy for me. It really saved my life, and for what I have dedicated my life to now is to be able to give that back to the world. So I want to be able to create films now, and I've dedicated all my time, energy, everything into being able to create films that allow people to feel something different, even if it is for just 90 minutes, even if it is for just
Yeah.
30 minutes or 20 minutes, you know, the opportunity for someone to be able to experience something that isn't their current situation or their life, or even to enrich themselves. You know, you see something in a film. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you know a film called Coco, which is a Pixar movie. You know, it's an animated
Yes.
Of course.
movie.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And some might argue that it's a kid's movie, but you know, I loved it. I really enjoyed that film. I
Yeah,
watched
me
that
too.
film years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. I watched that film years ago, and that really stayed in my mind subconsciously. I was in Mexico recently, as recent as over the weekend. I was there for business, and it just so happened to fall.
Mhm.
I was in Guadalajara. Shout out Guadalajara, a beautiful place in Mexico. I was there during the Dias de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And that whole
Yeah.
experience is so incredible and so beautiful to be able to see the culture, the richness of that culture, to see how they celebrate the people that have passed, to see all the colors, the festivals, the music. All of that had come from seeing the film Coco. So I think as a filmmaker, I feel like it's so important to be able to present people with these opportunities to experience these different cultures so that one day they have an understanding of what the world looks like beyond their bedroom.
That's beautiful, man. That's
Yeah, and you
beautiful. I
see, I got
love.
my sugar skull right over here, right on
Okay,
the
for
on the
those just
wall.
listening, Nick is pointing at the Lego placards behind his back here, and he's pointing over his left shoulder, or actually it's his right shoulder, left for me, and he's
Yeah,
pointing
yeah,
at
but the
one of
sugar
his Lego
skull is
creations.
inspired by Coco, and that's the thing. I think that's what Hader's getting at is that film on any size screen, it does let you experience things, feel things, and it
Hmm.
helps you as a creative even create things because all creation is inspiration. So if you can deliver that inspiration through your art, it's amazing, right? So yeah, I was inspired by Coco as well.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I always talk about my favorite film being The Princess Bride, and the reason why is because that movie introduces a lot of ideas to a young person. First of all, it has every type of storytelling all wrapped up in one movie, one film. But also, it's like when you grow up where I grew up, like is it like in the South here in Tennessee. Before I traveled anywhere, it was like the world wasn't a very big place, right? Or it was this big place, but you didn't know anything about it, right? You just know about your world. And then you watch a movie like that and you're introduced to the possibilities. And I think that's why film is easily the best storytelling and entertainment medium humans have ever created. You mentioned what film did for you in your life. Can you describe your childhood to us in 3 words, just to give us a
Three
sense
words.
of like
Yeah, okay.
how it saved you? Yeah.
I think I would say, if I was to pick 3 words, let me do one by one. So I'd say first word, I'd probably say difficult. And I'm
Hmm.
sure
I'm
many
gonna write these down.
people,
Okay, as you go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, I say it universally because I presume that difficult can be something that's relatable for many people. So difficult is definitely one of the words of my childhood. I would then
Mhm.
say inspired would be the second
Mm.
word. And the third word I would say about my
Okay.
childhood is, ooh, I'm gonna. I said difficult, so I can't really say something similar to difficult again. It'll be a bit of a cop out, right? That's 3 unique words. I promise. I know more than 2 words. I promise you. The vocabulary extends beyond just 2
No,
words.
just say that the third word needs to be the first word that comes to your head now, right? Just to say
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Okay,
word
Just
that you
now.
want to
what
say.
pops into your head?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Traumatic.
There we go. That's see, to me, that's the honest answer, and I love that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
okay. And I think there's a lot of people in the audience that like can definitely, you talk about relatable but difficult. I think traumatic can be incredibly relatable, as
Yeah, and
well.
Chris,
So
Chris, I'll also just say too that there's so many levels of that, right? Of trauma, and we all interpret trauma in different ways. And now that we're all older, I'm sure we've all had that little conversation. We're talking to somebody about something, and we do
mhm.
something or say something, and then either we or someone around us makes the comment, "Childhood trauma."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's just
Trigger.
yeah.
yep,
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's levels to that though, Nick. There's levels.
exactly,
But
exactly.
who
There's
hasn't
levels.
had trauma,
Yeah, exactly.
No,
There's
yeah.
levels, and there's levels to us, right? As
Some
well,
people
like
haven't,
what we
but
go through. Yeah.
yeah, and we appreciate you sharing, being honest with us on that. Just like I know if the trauma, just like I'll just say it, like we research everybody really well, so we understand a lot of this stuff, and and understood that about you before you came on the show, and it's like it takes a lot when you actually go through abuse and trauma. It takes a lot just to say the word trauma out loud. So we think that's incredible. We appreciate you for that.
Well,
Thank
the
you.
key is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's gotten beyond it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think what's
Yeah. It
important to
takes it,
mention as well
and
is,
look.
yeah, I think what's important to mention as well is, I think, a lot of people tend to think of it as like a negative or like something that might hold them back in some way. But, being able to like seeing it from the other side now, kind of coming through it, everybody kind of goes through something through their lives. But I think the key thing is when you look back at it, to see how far you've come, and also how that shapes the kinds of, your personality, your point of view, and in my case, using that to kind of funnel my understanding of creativity, my understanding of storytelling. I love, I love the idea of melancholy, because you can't
Mhm.
appreciate, if it was Christmas every day, you wouldn't appreciate it. So the idea of being able to understand that Christmas comes 365 days after the previous one, you have to kind of live through all of that until you can enjoy it again. So yeah, I
Yes.
think it's really trauma is something that we should definitely not shy away from when we speak about it, because it's something that isn't anything to be ashamed of across any kinds of format.
It's
Well,
a great
Chris, we just
argument for
came up. He just
diversity as well, right, Nick? Like,
Yeah, and I was gonna say he just came up with the name for his Christmas movie.
what is it?
Waiting for Christmas.
Waiting for Christmas. Does it have a dog in it?
Well, there has to be a dog.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I love it.
I like it. I'm gonna write that down. Waiting for Christmas, and like to me, it's an argument for diversity, because like if you don't have larger people, you don't know who's smaller. If you don't have tall people, you don't know who's short.
Yeah.
If you're not in a car driving 55 miles per hour, you can't tell what's standing still. You can't tell that you're even moving.
Right, and if you
Right?
don't have chocolate, you don't know if you have caramel. I get it. I understand.
Yes, yes.
That's it. That's it.
That was my prison nickname, Butter Pecan. They used to call me that in the slammer.
Oh,
I thought it was butter pecan.
No, they would be licking their teeth, licking their lips. Butter pecans.
It's like that. Have you seen that skit? The NFL player names when they come up with a skit with is it Key and
Yeah.
Peele?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Key and Peele. Hilarious.
But a pecan
Hilarious.
sounds like
Those-
it's NFL. You got the
Gotta have an
draft,
apostrophe in there somewhere.
Hey man, if I really did have to go to jail, I'd be like Ed Norton in 25th Hour, man. Hey man, I couldn't get out of
Yeah.
it. Come make me ugly. They could try too. I don't know if they succeed,
Yeah.
Papa Bear. I don't know if they succeed making me ugly, but
Look at you. Look at you.
butter
Yeah.
pecan.
I'm not, no
The
comment.
Morgan Freeman character in the background. I'd like to say he was a good man.
You're right.
From Shawshank, you know.
Yes, yes. Like a Twinkie. Like a Twinkie. Okay, let's wrap up Story is King with what is a piece of advice you live by, Hayder?
Oh, okay. One of the biggest ones that I live by is that success and greatness doesn't come to you, it comes from you.
Ooh. Okay,
I
I'm
like
gonna
the
write
idea
that
that,
down too.
Yeah, I love it as well. Because success and greatness has to be the manifestation of, desire, work, perseverance, all of these things, right? So even if you're given something, like, even if someone were to give you like $1 million, someone could say, well, you're successful. No, 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 you just have $1 million.
1 million.
Right? Yeah,
Okay,
that's not success, right? Success is the thing that comes from you, that you've done with your hands, right? It's like the thing that you put your work and your life and your heart into. So
Yeah.
I love that, because no one can give it to you. You got to earn that.
Yeah. How many times have we seen it, like a Nepo baby that has all the resources in the world but doesn't do anything well? And acutely realizes that they don't need to. That's the shame of it. They know they don't have to do anything. Like, it's like, okay, cool. All right.
yeah.
But I think for guys like us, it really makes a difference to go out there and be able to put your name behind something and be really proud of it, right? That's the idea. So I love that. Why don't we transition right into some audience polls, Nick?
That sounds good. It is audience poll time. This is, we like to reach out to our people out there and find out what they're thinking. And this audience poll is kind of interesting, and because it actually touches on something that Chris mentioned earlier about the Oscars and who tends to win in the short film space. And it's a simple question. Oh yeah, yeah, very. Chris, we have a way of tying these things back to the other things that we're doing. Yeah, man, we're just connected like that. But the question that we asked, exactly.
Just the mist comes
Wait,
out.
yeah, and for the young folks out there who don't get it, that's that Twilight Zone, and isn't that crazy that we got to like explain this stuff to people?
Yeah,
They'll
you'd be
do a
surprised what you
reboot
have
of
to
that at some point.
explain.
Don't you worry.
Oh, 100%.
You'd
They'll
be
reboot
surprised
that.
what you have to explain. Like, I think you have to explain right now. You might even have to explain tape cassettes. I think you might have to explain 8-track.
Well, you got to explain when, like, you and I will say, "Man, you got to watch that game tape." And people are like, "Wait,
what are you talking about? Tape?
What is
this tape?
Right.
You might ask an athlete to go get you game tape. Might bring you back something to wrap your ankle with.
Exactly. Go get that game tape, bro.
Go get the game tape. Right? Like we're old.
No, bro. We are seasoned.
We're
that's
seasoned,
what
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
We got little Lowrys on us.
That's right, the Lowrys. All right. Let's get into this audience poll. Real simple. Which do you prefer? Documentaries or narratives based on real stories?
Okay.
So the answer to the poll, right? The current results of the poll are documentaries are winning at 62% over narratives based on real stories at 38%. So as someone who's just produced and successfully gone on to win, what is that again? What's that acronym? BAFTA. A BAFTA award-winning short based on it's a narrative.
For those
there it is.
Haters holding up the BAFTA award in his hand it is quite terrifying. Actually, it's a beautiful trophy. It's also like a terrifying looking trophy. Like just like is that Odysseus with his eye poked on
gladiator, right? There it is.
The Greek, yeah.
But I want to know from
That's badass. I want to know
from Hayder. Yeah, I want to know from Hayder. Like, what do you think about that? Again, this is the audience just speaking their mind, that they prefer documentaries or over narratives that are based on real stories.
That's very interesting to hear that feedback kind of coming live from your audience, because My perspective is that with narrative, you get to you get to portray something that is real, but through storytelling. Now, I know documentaries, really good documentaries, they have a storytelling element to how they present these, what, you know, the topic of their documentaries. But one of the biggest things about rock, paper, scissors that I think brings a lot of success for it is that when you hear about war, usually it's reported in large figures or numbers, or it's given quite clinically with facts or details.
Hmm.
And sometimes a lot of these details or facts can be quite daunting and disassociating. You know, you hear 10,000 people displaced, 5,000 homes attacked, 6,000 drones used. Most people don't really understand what that even means, or they can't really fathom what that looks like.
It's a
Especially
great
if it's a
point.
conflict that's far away. It's really difficult to kind of connect with that. But you tell a story about a young boy and his father, and you focus that story on those people, and it's a civilian perspective. It's not Hollywood good versus evil. He's not an action hero. This is fundamentally a story that is focused on relatable characters, relatable people, that helps people connect so much more than just a voyeuristic look on something. And that's my perspective and my opinion. I think there's some incredible documentaries that exist out there that really bring to light a lot of major issues or topics or even experiences that people have in the world. But there's something about storytelling that allows people to really connect with the underlying topic of what that is. And I think with rock, paper, scissors, whilst it's a film about a conflict and whilst it's a film about war, what it's really about is this young boy who faces a series of difficult decisions that you wouldn't wish upon even the people that you dislike. What would you do in that situation? How would you cope with those decisions? What would you do? And I think that whilst documentaries are incredible, and there's some fantastic documentaries that have shaped my point of view on the world that I wouldn't have otherwise had, I think there's a very special place for storytelling that can really help people connect emotionally rather than just witnessing or having a sense of voyeuristic watching of something.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. And Chris, this is one of the things that this poll made me think about when I saw the responses. When I see narrative films based off of true stories, I can get immersed in those stories, right?
Yes.
And I learned something. Again, the storytelling, cinematography, like all these things are great to put me in a space that again I wasn't able to be in, but I get to appreciate that someone actually went through this. But at the same time as that narrative story is put out there in the world, I also get all of the media attention regarding the narrative about why the narrative wasn't true to the real story,
Yep.
right?
Oppenheimer would be an example of a
There you
film
go.
that a lot of people dislike simply because Nolan was too kind to him,
So there
essentially.
you go, right? And I think that that somehow sticks in people's heads is that
Mm.
there's taking the narrative element, the storytelling a little too far in a direction that is at the behest of the filmmakers, right?
Mm.
So if they want to paint it in a certain light, then they can. But I think the same thing can also be true for a documentary, right? But I think when you go narrative, there's the sense that people can do that more. And I do find that when the narratives come out, there's always someone picking at something. Well, that's not exactly how it happened, which is
Yeah.
why it'll say, instead of saying this is a true story, it says this is based on a true story.
Can I burst everyone's bubble, Nick?
Go for it, man.
Documentaries are also not exactly how it is.
Right.
Okay,
Right,
so
right,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first thing you have to
yeah,
do
yeah.
when you shoot a documentary is you have to decide a narrative theme, sort of, angle you're going to shoot your footage from in advance. So in advance, you already
Yeah.
know who your audience is, who you're trying to convince, who's the villain, who's the hero, And
Yeah.
that is part of documentary filmmaking, but we don't perceive it, right? Like
Exactly.
this is
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the minority on this one. I like narratives based on true events a lot more, for all the reasons that both of you guys said, but also for that other reason too, which is that it creates a conversation about a historical figure that, even though you might be incensed about it, or rightfully so or otherwise, you're still having the conversation, and it's overall really, really good for the movie industry. It's really, really good to get people out to theater so they can see some of these things. Look, we hate some of this stuff. The stuff on Dahmer, all these serial killers. They're doing another one on. They've done Ed Gein. Now they're doing.
Oh, I couldn't
They've
finish
done
it. I
Bundy.
couldn't finish
Yeah,
the Geen
the
story. That
Gein one's
No,
was
see,
terrible.
that's
I can't
The
even, but
Gein
I can't
one's
even start them,
awful.
guys. Remember, I
it's
can't even start them.
disturbing.
I won't go there. Yeah, I
Very
won't put that in my
disturbing.
life.
And we don't necessarily love those. We got another one coming out. I'm forgetting who the murderer they're focusing on this time is, but the whole point is that it does get people watching, and that does drive revenues, and you don't know where those revenues will be put to use in other types of filmmaking. So it's kind of like, in that way, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and then we just choose not to tune into those particular types of narrative storytelling. But I'm with the minority on this one, and I was a little surprised by the answer, man. But I do love everybody out there who votes on this stuff. Keep voting on our polls. We drop a poll, I think, every 2 days or something like that, every 3 days. So keep voting, and like I've said in the past, our audience polls are actual data for the industry. So you come to our site, make it on YouTube, the Make It podcast on YouTube. And if you go to the community site, you'll see all these polls and how they break out and what people really want and what they really, really think. And we've been right or I won't even say us. It's been the audience has been right, and it's sort of predicted the future. And we knew the future before it happened. Like times where we've put a poster, Hater, we put a poster and said, "Are you excited for this movie based on the poster?" And the audience will say no, and then suddenly that movie bombs at the box office, right?
It's
Our
so
audience
interesting. It's
predicted
so
Tron
interesting to be
Ares
able
not doing
to,
well.
yeah. But maybe that's a really good indicator as well. Even with the poll that we've just discussed now, maybe that's a big
Yeah,
indicator of what the appetite is for the audience. In a world full of Trons and superhero, Thunderbolts came out, which was meant to be the new Avengers. In a world where it's just kind of getting rinsed by this like really like sappy narrative story, like sappy narrative films. Maybe people want to see some level of truth or some level of reality that isn't kind of spoon fed to them by a studio. I can definitely, that's really interesting to
it,
hear the polls. Yeah.
yeah, this is a tricky poll to decipher because there's a keyword in option B, which is narratives based on a true story. And you can take that two ways, right? Because it lost, right? You can take it two ways. One, it could be that they do like the Thunderbolts and the Thors and all of that stuff. They want, if they're
Yeah.
going to go
That's
watch a movie that's narrative, they want to be taken to a new world. They
that's
want to
fair.
go to the world of weapons or sinners, or
Yeah.
still
I'm,
those are really big
what
surprises
can't
right
what
there,
you know
right?
Black Panther was definitely a documentary. I believe that there is a Wakanda out there somewhere.
Yeah. We all want to go to Wakanda, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
and then on the other way you can take that is that, yes, because it lost. Let's get into, if you're going to tell me something true, I want to see it in a documentary, because we're like we're running full speed into a world where you cannot tell what is real and fake anymore. It's getting
Yeah. Yeah.
incredibly difficult. It started trickling in earlier this year. I would say this week on YouTube alone, because I'm a practitioner of this, Papa Bear. You know that. I watch the YouTube. I watch our podcast, everybody's podcast. I'm on this thing, right? I saw it no less than 4 AI only commercials just yesterday.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah,
It's
it's
everywhere
all
now.
over. They're gonna tell you it's gonna
Cat's out
keep
of the bag.
coming. Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And
These
some
super
of us have
shiny
a
women, and it was
yeah,
so
some of us
weird.
have a discerning
They're all
eye.
shiny and shit.
We got a discerning eye,
Yeah.
bro. We're like, nah.
Yeah,
And some of us out there, accept it. It's just a commercial. So sell your
yeah,
thing. It doesn't matter if it's
yep,
AI or otherwise, because I didn't have a connection with those people on screen anyway, so
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I think it's just the idea that like you said, Chris, you just never know what's real anymore. Like for me, I prefer, like, they're talking about what is it, the Coca-Cola commercials that are going to be
Yeah,
coming out
Justine
this
Bateman
either this
Yeah.
responded that
Christmas.
she said Coca-Cola, not the real thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but here's the thing. For how many years now have we been watching animations from Coca-Cola, right? Why do we
Yeah.
Years,
care whether or
Yeah.
not
two,
that's
three
an
decades.
AI animation or some other version of animation? It's still animation.
We don't care.
Right, we don't. The main thing is just when they try to trick us. That's
Mhm.
the part that's bothersome, where you put an AI person and you expect us to believe that's a real person. Like, that's
Yeah,
what
Well,
man.
makes
what's
it
Nobody's that shiny,
really
bro.
what's really interesting about what you've just said is exactly the discussion around AI right now is that there was a Toy Story was
Hmm.
and I we might need to fact check this just so I can't. I was going to say it confidently, but I might be wrong. But Toy Story was
Papa
one of the
Bear's all over it.
first. Yeah, yeah. Toy Story was one of the first films to be recognized in the awards circuit for animation, because prior to that there was this huge argument around not animation, sorry, CGI. CGI. That's the key word
There
here.
you go. Yeah.
Toy Story was one of the first films to be recognized in the awards circuit as a CGI film, because there was this huge conversation, similarly to how we're talking about now in the AI space, is should you be able to win an award as an actor for a role that you did as a CG character? That was a discussion back then when CGI first came
Yeah.
into the loop, into the conversation. There was this whole conversation about, oh no, CGI is going to come and take all the acting jobs. Everything's going to be CGI. They're going to start changing everything. Should they be celebrated as real actors for doing CG?
Mhm.
Should they be awarded for those things? CGI is going to replace everything. And the reality is that CGI is a tool that filmmakers can then use and deploy
Yep.
to be able to create more fantastical storytelling, more fantastical worlds, or even to be able to achieve certain narrative effects that help tell the story better. And I think there'll
Yeah.
be an element of this with AI. I think with same with animation. Animation didn't replace actors. CGI didn't replace actors. I don't think AI will replace actors. There'll be categories for them. They might act opposite them. But I think
Yeah.
because it's emerging technology, would you have known if Coca-Cola didn't say that that was an AI video, would people care?
no,
I don't think people care
not the
right now,
no.
except for like the rage bait it is on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it,
Does
man.
anybody
And yeah, and
actually? Yeah.
that's it. That's what it comes down to. But I think the difference between CGI and AI is the democratization of AI, right? It's supposed to be in everybody's pocket, everybody's hand. It's supposed to be super simple to create things. Whereas I think all of us in this room, if someone said, "Hey, why don't you create me a CGI character?" Be like, no, bro, like it's gonna take me years to figure out how to work that
Yeah.
software, and that software is $10,000 a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
but now they're just like, nope, AI
Remember
for
the
everybody.
CGI engineer we met at Technicolor, Nick,
Oh
in
yeah,
LA? That dude was like a quant.
yeah, but all
He was like
32
an
cameras.
MIT.
I'm in.
He was a nerd.
Yeah,
He was a
I'm in.
genius, man. Like I'm like, dude, yep, it's gonna take me a minute to be that guy.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's
So
not
now I
it's
think
not
that's
that
the difference,
simple.
is that
Yeah.
now everyone can do it. And
Yeah.
then, I do dislike some of the conversations, I have to put it out there, where people are like, do we even need musicians now that we got this AI?
Mhm.
And what they're doing is they're playing a song that was written by a human. They just redid it with AI. Or it's
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
that's a bad argument. You just, like, you're bouncing to the song and you're singing the lyrics that a human wrote. It's just a
Yeah.
different AI version of that song. So, yeah, you're
Well,
celebrating the human in the loop.
the CG the SAG after the SAG president came out, Sean Austin, right? Uh,
Aston.
Aston, yeah, played Rudy. Uh, Good interview. He came out and talked about this at length, right? Like the whole thing is contractual. right? So if you, Bryan Cranston, he brought up Bryan Cranston.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out there used his Breaking Bad character, Walter White, that he made famous, and had him doing something with Michael Jackson or something. I think is what it was. And he called SAG. And then SAG said, if you didn't authorize it, then we got to take it down and find out who did it. But if you want that and you like it, then we approve it. And that's really what the contract says. It says, no, it's to Hayder's point. Like, no, it's not going to replace actors because in the contract that it can't unless you want it to.
Mm.
And that's what
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
until the next strike. So, yeah.
Till the next strike.
All right. Do you guys want to pay some bills?
Oh, we got to do that, man. We got to rep our sponsors. That's
That's
what we
right.
do.
That's right.
We give
Our
love.
lovely sponsors. Shout out to them. They make the show possible. Let's go pay some bills and we'll be right back. In the entertainment industry, there's a catch-22 all beginning creators must handle, including us when we began, Nick. And the question is, the catch-22 is, how do I get hired without experience? But how do I get experience without getting hired? Well, here's the deal. Columbia State Community College provides the experience, and they're sponsoring our show today. The Film Crew Technology program at Columbia State Community College on the Franklin, Tennessee campus provides the experience, training, and knowledge to step into the entertainment workforce, continue on in higher education, or ideally, both. The Film Crew Technology Certificate allows you to work in the industry while gaining your degree. Here's what the training includes: set safety and etiquette, pre-production, production, post-production, and delivery. That's almost the whole thing. So from pre to post, Film Crew Technology trains below the line workers in the tools of their trade. From cinema cameras like the Arri Alexa 35, incredible camera as you might know, to a loaded 3-ton grip truck, from sound recording to a pre and post production computer lab, the Film Crew Technology program delivers hands-on experience.
Yeah, man. And as we know, every filmmaker starts somewhere. Your first script, your first shot,
Yep.
your first spark of, I can do this. And at Columbia State Community College, that spark becomes a career. There, you can get hands on training, real equipment, and professors who work in the industry, all in an environment built to help creators grow. From production fundamentals to digital storytelling, you'll learn by doing every single day. So, if you're ready to turn passion into practice and practice into a future, my friends, start your story at Columbia State Community College. And Columbia State Community College is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. In addition, financial aid is available for those who qualify, including the Tennessee Promise and Tennessee Reconnect.
That's right. Enrollment begins each fall semester, but space is limited to 20 students each year. So don't wait. No. Apply now. For more information, you can reach out to our man, our guy, David Smith. He's the FCT program director. He's a madman. He wants to give you his phone number. He wants to give you his email address. He wants to give you his website. So here it is. His phone number, 615-790-4410. Again, 615-790-4410. Or you can email him at david.smith@columbiastate.edu. Again, david.smith@columbiastate.edu. Still on the fence? Well, don't be on the fence long. It's only 20 slots. But if you're still on the fence, you can go to www.columbiastate.edu/FCT. Again, that's columbiastate.edu/FCT. And thank you again to Columbia State Community College for sponsoring the show. Shout out to our sponsor, Anthropic, and the latest version of their AI model, Claude. Claude's internal and external research capabilities go way deeper than basic web search. Think comprehensive, reliable analysis with proper citations for clients, turning hours of research into minutes. This is especially great for producers out there, if you're producing film and researching, or storytellers. My favorite part is that it connects to other productivity apps on my phone. So now it's this high-end assistant and taskmaster in my pocket. You can even connect Claude to your professional tools like GitHub, Jira, HubSpot. Notion is a huge one, Google Workspace, of course, and watch it become your command center with context for all of your work. Claude is the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It's the collaborator that actually understands your entire workflow. And here's the big part, Nick, and thinks with you, not for you. Whether you're debugging code at midnight or strategizing your next business move or your next film, Claude extends your thinking to tackle the problems that matter.
Right. So whether you're crafting your next short, pitching a feature, or even polishing a festival winning script, you need a creative partner that never runs out of ideas. And Anthropic Claude is that partner. So with Claude, filmmakers get instant story development, smarter research, and production ready breakdowns from character arcs to shot lists. It helps you rewrite faster, collaborate better, and get back to what matters most, of course, the art. So if you can imagine it, Claude can help you make it.
100%. So if you're ready to tackle those big problems and, as Nick says, make it, sign up for Claude today and get 50% off Claude Pro when you use our link, claude.ai/make it. That's claude.ai/make it right now. That's 50% off for your first 3 months of Claude Pro. That includes access to all of the features mentioned in today's episode. That's claude.ai/make it to get 50% off your first 3 months. Now, Nick, back to the show. And we're back.
I like that.
We are back. And I think it's time that we hop into some filmmaker Q&A with just stay with you, Nick. I just realized, like, the way we have this show set up, it's like you have this massive responsibility in the middle of this show. Like, you do a lot of heavy lifting. Like, this is like a lot of Nick at one time. This might be more Nick than we need.
I don't know, man. I mean, can you ever get enough? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't get enough. What are you talking about, man? You can't get enough. You know, it's like once you pop the top, you know, you can't stop.
Once you pop the top, you cannot stop. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna do it.
Yes, film Q&A.
We're gonna do some filmmaker
for the
Q&A.
people, for the filmmakers.
Yeah, and we're gonna let them know. So this one is a little bit different from the last couple that I've done. When I've done some parallels in the industry to some things that our filmmakers have made. But you know, again, Chris, you mentioned that we do our research, right? We look into the not only just the family history, the life history, the personal history, but we also look into, of course, the career history. And I know that Hayder, you've had a lot of different roles, and I'm back in to the Reddit circle these days. Like I'm back in that community again. I took some time off. I'm back in. And what I see a lot in there is people asking about, like, how do I get in to the industry, or like, what's the best first role that I should take? And one of the things that I saw with you, Hayder, is that you've done a lot of roles. And I feel like there is a progression with these roles as well, to getting you to where you are today. And I think this would be a great opportunity just to ask some questions about those specific roles, what you learned when you were in those roles, and I think generally, like, how they helped you, right? Helped you move forward. So the role that I want to start with, because even I'm a little bit confused about this one, is the role of a runner. Like, what is a runner, and what did you learn being a runner?
No, firstly, that's a really great question, because I would say that the runner is one of the most entry level roles that you can do on a film set. And I don't think it's limited to a film set, depending on what your aspirations are, because you could be a runner in a post-production house. So if your aspirations are something to do with post-production, like editing or VFX or anything like that, there is a runner role in post. There is a runner role on set. There is a runner role for the production office. it's quite a universal role because it is an entry level role. Now, I couldn't recommend being a runner more. It was one of the first things that I did. And at first, on surface level, I'll cut all the BS. You are making tea or coffee. You're carrying people's bags. You are moving things around on set. If they want to shoot something this way and then they want to turn it that way, you need to clear. You're the person that clears all of that stuff, all the chairs and everything like that. You're interacting with the crew, and that gives you access to all the crew. Maybe you're helping the camera department, or you're helping the art department, or any other different roles. You might be helping the director personally, or the cast. But on the surface, what it is you're doing all of those different types of jobs as the runner. You are the go-to. And it takes a lot of grit to do that because it's not glamorous. Sometimes you could be a runner driver. I've had some runner roles where I've driven a van to the coast, and the van has a liquids only toilet in the back, and it is the only toilet for miles. And let me tell you, when the rules aren't followed for the liquids only, that is on you to solve that problem.
Ooh.
So it is not great. People expect you to do everything, but let me tell you something. Because it's entry level, you kind of have to grit your teeth. You have to smile through it, because the good part of it is such a privilege to be able to find yourself on a film set. For anybody that has never found themselves on a film set, it is magical because everybody is there for the film. Everybody's there to pull off all these different elements, all these different things, the lighting, the camera, the set design, the cast, the sound. All of those people all turn up for the 30 seconds of just pure silence. The camera's rolling and you go. Everybody gets into that moment. It is such a privilege to be a runner because two reasons. It is almost impossible for you to up because the responsibility lies on someone else's head. Like if you're the producer, like I'm a producer now.
It rolls up to the producer, yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm responsible for so much stuff. If something goes wrong, it comes up to me. I have to try and find a way to solve it. Obviously, you have a team of people and you have a lot of trust in different people. But as a runner, you can have you're able to learn and make these types of mistakes in a way that doesn't have a huge impact. Of course, that's not to say that if you make a mistake, it has those repercussions. Don't make loads of mistakes. But it gives you the opportunity to learn from those mistakes without it causing catastrophic problems down the line. And secondly, you have access. It's one of the few times in your career, it's at the start, where you'll have access to all of the departments. If you're helping out the camera department, you get face-to-face access to the cinematographer. And usually it's because you're bringing them something. You're bringing them a snack. You're bringing them coffee. You're bringing them tea. They love you for that. When everybody's like really stressed and things are going on and like everybody's kind of trying to get through or fighting against time, or the weather's changing, or there's some sort of issue over here, you're the person that is bringing them that cookie. You're the person that is bringing them that coffee. You're the person that's helping them carry stuff. So you get access to all of these different departments in a way that you may not be able to until way further down in your career. So it's an incredible way to kind of meet and learn from all these different, even cast, So I have a story of someone, not me personally, but I have a story of a friend of mine who was Robert Downey Jr.'s runner. Specifically, and it was not a glamorous job. He would stand outside RDJ's trailer, with his radio, and they would communicate with him to go check in on him and do this, or kind of make sure that when he goes to set, that all this stuff is reloaded in his trailer, all of his drinks, all of his stuff, and all the rest of it. And, he had to stand outside in the rain when it was raining. He has an umbrella. It was all right. But because he was RDJ's runner, he built that relationship with him so that at the end of the shoot, he was given RDJ gave him a gift, and it was outlandish because I can't remember what the production was, but he got given a watch. And let me tell you, it was a nice watch.
It doesn't suck.
Nope, it doesn't. No. It doesn't, not at all.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Now that you're a producer, what kinds of things do you have your runner do?
Oh, you know what? That's also that's a really good question, because I've been runners for people who aren't so great, and I've been runners for people who are great. And one of the biggest learnings that I had from that is to, every single person on that production is really important. So now, if I can do it myself, I do it myself. For me, it's not a sense of you don't need to be bossing people around. Most of the time, I'll ask someone to do something, or I'll ask them to help collaborate on something because of the time, or you reprioritize things in a way that, I'll need someone to kind of help out in this way, or I'll need someone to help out in that way. But I tend to put a lot of trust in those runners. And I think that allows them that sense of autonomy allows them to kind of make that role their own. So it gives them, rather than micromanage, rather than watching every little thing that they do, I give them the opportunity to mess it up in the hope that they don't mess it up. So I think sometimes a lot of the times when people make mistakes, it's because they feel the pressure of someone on top of them. And I think that having the opportunity for someone to kind of problem solve it in a way that they can do it, if they need to go and find something, or they need to do something, even if it's a research thing. So, sometimes as a runner, you're tasked with trying to find, we need X, Y, and Z. We're shooting somewhere that we don't know. We urgently need X, Y, and Z. They go find it, they'll build a list and all the rest of it. So giving them some level of autonomy, I think, really helps bring out the best in people.
That's perfect,
okay.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what's interesting, so the next role that I'm going to ask you about is the production assistant, because that's the conversation that I think, Chris, you and I have had about entry-level positions.
Yeah.
I know that's a conversation that I'm seeing again across the community on Reddit when people are saying, how do I get in? No one has mentioned a runner, but they all mentioned the production assistant. So could you just give us an idea of, what's the difference, right, between a runner and a PA? And then again, what did you learn that's different as a PA than you did as a runner?
Yeah, so it might be a little different in the US. In the UK, the runner and the production assistant are separate roles.
Mm-hmm.
So a PA generally sits in a big production in the UK. A PA usually sits above a runner. A runner would be running around. I mean, the clue's in the name, I guess, but the runner would be physical tasks.
Yeah.
A PA has a little bit more responsibility, so they can actually assign runners to certain tasks. So a PA, a task might be that we need to figure out, we need air filters. That was actually a task that I had to do as a PA. I had to get air filters for the room, and that was pre-COVID. So this was, air filters are a lot more easy to get hold of now. They're a lot more common and abundant. But pre-COVID, an air filter was quite a specific need. We were shooting in a space where, when you recce it, when you prep for it, it seemed fine. But as soon as you put all the camera and lighting and people in it, it's whoa, we need to have some sort of air filtration. So as a PA, that was my role, to go and find these air filtrations. But for the sense of efficiency, I did the research. I presented it. I put them all, I found 7 or 8 places that sell 7 or 8 different air filters. I'd have to present it in a way that the production manager or the line producer can sign off on it, because there was different costs, different places, all the rest of it. It's very systematic. I don't know, a lot of, especially if a lot of your listeners are already filmmakers, or if your listeners aren't filmmakers, it's very structured. As some people think of filmmaking as like run and gun, you catch it and shoot it, but certain level of filmmaking, it's quite structured. Anyway, so as a production assistant, I would do that. I'd find that information, I would put it all together, or I would take it to my superiors, and at the same time, you would send out the runners to go start finding them. So that in terms of efficiency, I've done a lot of what would be the administrative elements, and then the runner would go and execute those elements. So that would be the chain of command as an example of a production assistant in the UK. Production assistant could also act as a runner. So production assistants can also be the people who are making the tea and coffees, doing all those things. They fit within the realm of that. But I would say that the production assistant, as you can tell from that example, probably has a little bit more of an administrative involvement. They might use their laptop a little bit more. They might have to have a little bit more of those types of skills in that level of problem solving.
And I do think you're right. In the US, those roles are kind of combined, runner and PA.
And gopher.
Yeah, except when they are like specific to a star, as you mentioned, Hayder, right? Like you're not going to have a personal PA, but you could have a personal runner or or personal assistant.
Personal assistant, yeah,
right, which is basically the runner position here in the U.S. Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and I think that's great. We're seeing that development, and I think what's really cool about this is that again, Hayder has done this, right? He was a runner, then he was a production assistant, and then there's two more levels that I want to talk to, right? So the next level, you actually already mentioned it. You talk about production management, right? So I think that there's another role in there that I saw that you've played, which is like production coordinator, right? Mm-hmm. But there's like production, you get the runner, the production assistant, and I just want to learn more from you about what is the role of the production coordinator and production management.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can start to see a bit of a route through those different roles now. So I am a producer now, which it still sounds crazy to say out loud with confidence. Like, I am a producer, I am a producer now. That is something that's
am
fun.
I a producer?
But that's really fun to say. That's something that I've always really wanted to do. It's something that I've pursued exclusively. I know some people tend to be a producer actor or producer director, or they have different combinations, and that's perfectly okay. For me, producing was definitely something that I have always wanted to do. I'm very inspired by talent. One of the things that that really inspired me is, you'd meet directors or you'd meet cinematographers and you'd meet screenwriters, and one of the greatest things as a producer is that you can work with all of them. There's not really any kind of real competition. Sure, there's competition with other filmmakers, producers, but my perspective is that I want to creatively collaborate with those people. Some films you see that there's only one director or one cinematographer, and directors don't ever get to work with other directors. Cinematographers might not get to work with other cinematographers. But one of the greatest things about producing is that if I'm inspired by the way that you speak or your creative ideas or this, that, it's like, cool, I want to work with you. So with that being said, there is no real straightforward route to producing. But when it comes to the building those roles, my entry into filmmaking, I don't come from a family of filmmakers. I don't have any kind of, I kind of clambered my way into filmmaking through running. But if you want to be a producer, this is one of the routes that you can take. So going from a runner to a production assistant to a production coordinator to a production manager, these are all roles within the production team or the production office. And the production coordinator sits below the production manager. And what that person does is they tend to run the day-to-day of the production office. And what that means is you've got runners, you've got PAs, production assistants, you've got a production secretary or production secretaries. Depending on the size of the production, you might have assistant coordinators. I'll talk about coordinators for a minute, but what that role does is you will then look after You'll start to look after some of the other departments in terms of their movement, where they might have to be. You work with their department's coordinators. You start to kind of set up, if there's meetings, production meetings, you start to set that up. You are the communicator to the entire production too. So usually the call sheet for each day usually comes from the production coordinator. It's obviously signed off by a whole bunch of other different departments, but generally speaking, you are the coordinator of the production office and the production team. The production manager sits above that, and they tend to work more closely with the producer, the line producer, and they tend to hire and fire the people. They tend to work with the line producer to kind of have oversight in terms of budgetary. You start to move in the more into away from the physical nuts and bolts to the more for lack of a better word, management of the nuts and bolts. You tend to kind of look after more of, and also there comes a point where you start to look after more of the people as well for those productions. So that could be making sure that, if there's any kind of, because it's also a workplace. I think people tend to forget that when you start to make
That's
films
exactly right.
professionally, you start to, you need to get paid. Someone needs to help work with you to get paid. Maybe you have certain needs that need to be met, or you have HR level of issues, or you have certain things that, some people have families that kind of overlap into their workspace. So sometimes a production manager might work with those people to set up schemes that allow for you to have a creche or a nursery on a set, so that people who are parents get to have childcare, or that's when you start to kind of delve into the realm of looking after the people on your film set and making sure that they all get paid on time, or making sure that they're looked after, or you start to kind of it gets into you can start to see how it moves from making the coffees and helping people carry stuff to then working with the problem solving of like finding things like building lists, like speaking to other. You can start to see how it's kind of moves through the ranking system. And just to kind of finish that, just to wrap that up, that you can move through those ranks as you build more and more of your experience, but you have to ask for it. That's the biggest thing in the film industry. And I think, that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give to your listeners, is that no one's going to give you a promotion. No one's going to give you a better opportunity. The reality is you're saved in someone's phone book as that role. Like if you're a really good runner, that's what they're going to put you down as on your phone books. Yeah. People are going to call up. They're like, I need a runner. This person. So, it's down to you to hustle to get, you do a few runner jobs, maybe ask for a production assistant role. You do a couple of production assistant roles, maybe ask if you can be more involved as an assistant coordinator, or as a production secretary, is a role that we didn't speak about. You have to ask for it. No one's going to give you that promotion. You've got to, and if you don't know that role well enough, ask for it and go learn about it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys, we're gonna have to top this all off with the role that he has right now, that he seems a little shy, to talk about. Come on now, you gotta say it. Right? What did Kevin Hart say? Say it with your chest. You are now a producer, so go ahead and say it with your chest. Yeah, that's right. And say it. But I would, let's talk about it, and let's just talk about that role. So now you've gone through all the levels. What is the role of a producer in your eyes, especially with respect now to all the roles that you just mentioned?
Yeah, producing is such a privilege to be able to do, because I've had those other opportunities where I've learned about filmmaking from the ground up, being involved in those opportunities, with those roles, working with different types of people. I think producing is such an incredible opportunity, because producing goes beyond just the nuts and bolts of filmmaking. I think what a lot of people might not understand, especially creatives like directors or screenwriters, and actually probably a lot of average Joes who may not know a lot about filmmaking and the process about it. Producing is working with the creatives to help develop the story. You know, one of the ways that I like to work with creatives as a producer is I am your first audience member. You know, I'll tend to work with the director and we'll have healthy challenging and healthy conflict to try and understand what is your intention as the creative, as the storyteller, and how do we make sure that that your intention is executed in a way that the audience is picking up on that. You know, if there is room for misunderstanding of what, you know, if this is what you're trying to achieve and this is how it can be interpreted, how do we work it so that what you're wanting to achieve is exactly what is delivered to the audience on screen so that they can receive what you're trying to communicate. And that starts from the very early stages of development through the script writing process. We'll do sessions. We'll figure out how do we get the best out of what you're trying to do? And how do we make sure that by the time it reaches them, that's what you want? Because there's different ways, you know, sometimes what you might have in your mind may seem like it just makes sense. Like, yeah, of course, that's what everybody's going to think because that's how I think about it. But then when you start to kind of work it through, that's when the idea becomes more than just the screenwriters, more than just the cinematographers, more than just the director's idea. That's when it starts to become a film that then has other collaborators. And then it gets into the process of the actual filmmaking itself. You know, even before that, you have the whole financing and the building of the project. You know, unless you have people who are very wealthy that pay for it themselves, part of the producer's role is to take that project and to then try and find people who will help build and collaborate on it. You know, that might get with casting, or might come with trying to find distributors that help build the project so that it can have value. So it's no longer just an idea that's a creative idea in someone's head. It becomes something that is for somebody. It has an audience. It has a lifespan. It has something that is more than just a film on a hard drive somewhere that you're really proud of. It becomes something that gets seen, you know. Then there's the nuts and bolts for filmmaking, which I'm sure a lot of people have an idea of what that looks like. It's like you're the father of the production. So when there's, you know, you build the sand pit, you put the sand in, you find the people to bring into that sand pit, and then you give them the opportunity to play. You know, then they build the film. The cinematographer has these, you know, the conversations with the director to try and make sure that they're on the same page of what they're trying to achieve creatively. The sound designer, the composer. And for me, what's really important for me is to be able to start that early so that everybody is on the same page. You know, that there's cohesiveness. Cohesiveness across the whole project. You know, you don't want to bring your composer in at the very end of the project. You know, if you bring them in at the very start, you can have the discussions about what references you might have. What is it that you guys are thinking, and like, how do we make this film as potent as possible? With rock, paper, scissors, one of the greatest things that we had is we brought the composer with us onto the location recce's. We brought the sound designer onto the location recce's, and those conversations, as weird as that might sound, why do they need to be there? They're not going to be there on the day. But as weird as that sounds, they start to understand the landscape of the storytelling. They start to understand the ideas of the other creatives, and they can then build the soundscape and build the music that helps amplify that. And I'm sure you've probably seen with the film, some of the music and the sound kind of almost blend together, you know, with, you know, that we use this like horn that sounds like an air raid siren, but it's not actually an air raid siren in the film. It's kind of psychological air raid siren, but then it builds tension because it actually mixed in with music. And what that does for the storytelling and for the picture, for when you're watching it, it helps amplify that tension. So I think one of the greatest things about producing is being able to facilitate that and let the create the space for them to do that. And then there's the biggest thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about that producer's role is what comes afterwards. So once the film has been made, once the film has been edited, once it's been polished, once it's been created, it's part of the producer's role to help give that film life, you know, be it through a film festival circuit. One of my roles is to, you know, what I did with you know, I use Rock Paper Scissors as an example because it's probably the most successful film that I've done. You know, you look at all the different film festivals globally, you look at the lists that the Oscars put out, that the BAFTAs put out, you see the recognized film festivals, you build a strategy around that, you see what festivals, you look at each one, you see which one where that your film might resonate well with. You know, if it's a film that spotlights, I don't know, female storytellers or female directors. You know, our film was directed by Franz Bohm, who is not female. That might not have any success in that film festival, you know. Or if it's a film festival that looks at horror films, for example, our film won't be very successful in that film festival. So part of that process is to try and find and make sure we submit to the correct festivals. You know, we've been to over 23 film festivals worldwide, from New Zealand to St. Louis to Germany to France to Ukraine to Mauritius. You know, we've had, the film has traveled, you know, I'm very humbled by that, but it's traveled so far and wide, and you get to the opportunity. Some of those film festivals will cover your accommodation and your flights. They'll bring you over there. Yep. You have the opportunity to win awards. So the film becomes an award-winning film. You get to have the opportunity to meet other filmmakers who then get to talk about your film, and you get to talk about their film, and you build those relationships because it's very, very small community filmmaking. You know, the more people that you speak to, the more inspired you can get by meeting other great filmmakers to work with them. And I think there's a lot in terms of producing that allows you to be able to kind of start to build those relationships and build those projects and all of that. And, you know, I've gone on a bit of a rant here, but one of the things that I would say would be a bit, like, if I was to summarize and it was a big takeaway, is that, you know, all of this I'm speaking about comes from a singular project. You know, if you can make a singular film and you find a good producer who can help take it all the way, you take it from the beginning, middle, and end, you know, you can have the opportunity to kind of really build a life, a career. And your film, one of the biggest things is that, you know, you get to speak to people who've seen your film. That is wild to me. You know, even at this stage, it is wild to me. It's like, you've seen my film, you've seen our film, you've watched the film, and you have something to say about it. That's, you know, I think as a filmmaker, that for me is one of the greatest takeaway from being able to create and with storytelling, is that you get to connect with people in a way that you could never have imagined to.
Here. And I want to just add one thing real quick, Nick, to what you said earlier about people not necessarily realizing that it's a business and that you're building a little workplace, you're building a little LLC, and the goal is you're going to build an LLC and sell it. Now that's more feature film talk, but you get the idea. It kind of translates. What I think I'm not seeing enough of, guys, is that being articulated very well within the structure of a pitch. So you're going out, you're an emerging filmmaker, you have a short film, even if it's a short, right? Like, and you have a budget, you want to raise some capital for it. Maybe you're going to reach out to a high net worth individual that isn't in film. Okay. Or any individual that isn't in film that could fund your film. It's so much more effective to explain to them how structured a film actually is, than to say, I have this really big idea and I need some money to make it come to life. And while that might be true, it makes you come off as a wide-eyed, unrealistic dreamer if you're not careful and if your tone is wrong. But if you bring the information about how serious of a job it actually is, that you're actually creating jobs. The thing I love about the production manager is everybody wants to meet the director, everybody wants to meet the actor, everybody wants to meet the producer. The production manager is what makes or breaks your career. The line producer makes or breaks your career if you want to work in film, right? Like, you need to meet them, right? Cookie McRae. Shout out to Cookie. Love you, Cookie. If you're out there listening to this, got her career because she did what Hayder said. She's asked. And then she worked on Green Mile. And then the rest is history. She still works in the film industry today because she took a lark on some PM took out a flyer on her. She had no experience. Just,
Yeah, I think
brought her in.
that's a
So
really good.
it's just really powerful.
It's a really good point that you make. I think that one of the biggest things that I would say, just to kind of go back on what you've said, is that whilst you are a creative, you're an artist, you're also in the business of value creation.
Yeah.
If you understand that early on, that's when you can start to really have an impact and have a level of success, because everybody wants to make a film, buy a house, make a film, buy a bigger house, make a film, buy an island, right? Let's be real. That's what people also want.
That's the
You
dream right
see,
there.
yeah, you see people
Where does the
who see
plane
that.
come in?
Yeah, we need
Buy a
the
plane to
island
get to the
first.
island. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give, just bouncing off of what you've just said, is that as soon as filmmakers start to understand that, and I'm talking about all aspects of filmmaking, even if you're a cinematographer or you're a director or you're an editor, if you understand that you're in the business of value creation, you can start to think about, what is the value that I'm adding or bringing here? What does that mean to someone other than me? What does that mean to someone other than my mum? You know, who is going to want to see this? How can I leverage that as much? In fact, film financing is built on that very same principle. You build a package, and a package is essentially what are the elements of your film that bring value. If you've got this specific actor, they have a fan base, they have a string of films that have been successful, or they have a string of films in the same genre as what you're doing. You want to pitch the project in a certain way. If you were looking to do a horror film, where does it go? Who is it for? What's your perspective on how you're going to recoup that value if someone gives you $1 million, $10 million, $100 million? How are you going to not just use that money, but how are you going to make it back and then some? I think it's really important to have that understanding so that you aren't some wide-eyed creative, because that makes it easier for you to raise that money. Because when you're speaking to people, money people tend to not usually be creative people. And I think that if you can somehow gear your pitch in a way that speaks to their understanding, that puts you in a better position to be able to fulfill your dreams of having a career in filmmaking. Because that's the key thing, isn't it? It's career in filmmaking. You can make a film. We can make a film tomorrow. We can make films. But do you want to make the second film or your third film or your 10th film? Or do you want to work in film? How do you continue that process?
Yeah, this is Chris. This has been great because this is what people are looking for, right?
Yep.
And I think the biggest takeaway that I have is that value proposition, is that you have to show your value, know, and then get people to know that you are valuable. And that could be in the smallest of ways, right? That could be in the way that you prepared their tea the same way that they like it every time, right? That could be that, look, you're dependable. I can depend on you to do a thing regardless of what that thing is. Those things, when you add value to people's lives, you create relationships, right? Those relationships that you create and that you build then allow you to ask for the next thing, right? Because you've proven your value. So then you ask for the next thing. And that progression that you just described, all the way up to the role of a producer, is this not just a hierarchy, because it's easy to look at it that way, right? Well, I want to get that manager. No. It's not a hierarchy. It is a progression of value and a progression of understanding. So that's the other part that I took from it, right? As a runner, you get to touch a little bit of everything. And then when you move up to the next level of a production assistant, you get to oversee the things that touch everything, right? Production coordinator, production management. You get to manage the human side of the things that touch everything. And then as a producer, you get to work with the actors, the director, different departments that now touch everything that brings the vision of the film to life. So for those in our audience out there, and of course the folks that we'll interact with on all of our different platforms, this is the crux of how do I get into the industry, right? How do I build a career? Like you mentioned, the first step is show value. The second thing, consistent value. The next thing is through the consistent value that you want to make sure that you're asking for the next position and that you continue to matriculate up. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful, story to tell for our filmmaking audience out there. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, Nick, that's wonderfully put. I think you've nailed it on the head there. That's exactly right.
Hey, everybody. Shout out to HelloFresh. You may have heard of HelloFresh, the #1 meal kit in America, making home cooking easier with chef crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. But this fall, they're serving up even more to love. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember, okay? This is totally different. Now they're bigger. They have doubled their menu. You can now choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. They're also healthier now. Feel great even with a healthier menu. HelloFresh now offers and helps you eat greener with new veggie packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies per dish. So sometimes I don't eat meat, right? And for all those vegetarians out there, vegans out there, they've got you covered. They're also tastier now. So must have been some good customer feedback, because now they've got steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost. Now with 3 times the seafood options. Savor the season, okay, with hearty recipes like classic beef chili or honey glazed pork tenderloin. I'm getting hungry just saying these words. Discover new seasonal produce each week, from leeks to broccolini to Italian eggplant and even more. Now I feel like I'm speaking to you, Nick, a little bit with the leeks and the broccolini and the eggplant. I don't even know.
Well, man, all I got to say is long days on set, late nights in the edit bay, endless rewrites. As filmmakers and creatives, we're fueled by passion. But guess what, my friends? Passion doesn't cook dinner. And that's where HelloFresh comes in. So, with pre portioned ingredients and quick chef designed recipes, HelloFresh helps you eat great even on production schedules. No grocery runs, no guesswork, just fast, flavorful meals that keep you energized for your next scene, shot, or story breakthrough. So, feed your creativity and yourself
And
with
yourself.
HelloFresh.
That's right. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/make it 10 FM, right? Make it 10 F as in Frank, M as in Mary, now to get 10 free meals plus, and I love this, Nick, free breakfast for life. What are we talking about? Okay. Go to HelloFresh.com/make it 10 FM now to get 10 free meals and a free breakfast for life. 1 box with active subscription, free meals applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Of course, it varies by plan. One more time, HelloFresh.com/make it 10 FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life.
As filmmakers, we chase stories across borders, researching locations, analyzing global cinema, collaborating with teams worldwide. But every click, file transfer, and late night download needs protection. And that's where Surfshark VPN comes in. Surfshark keeps your project secure with encrypted connections, protects your team when working on public Wi Fi, and opens access to region-locked reference film from anywhere. Faster, safer, more open internet wherever production takes you. Now, when I was in Italy, I tried streaming the Chelsea game only to get hit with that dreaded not available in your region screen. You know how that crap feels. But there's a workaround. Surfshark VPN.
That's right. And for those who don't know, a VPN is a virtual private network which allows us to mask our real IP addresses and even replace it with another IP address anywhere else in the world. So using a VPN is like wearing pants, Nick. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. VPN covers your whole online activity. Once your device connects to the internet, all the information is encrypted. That way, your online activity is hidden from all the snoopers and trackers that you know are out there. And do you ever wonder just how much of your personal information is floating around online? Every click, every swipe, every doom scroll into whatever you just happen to be into at the moment, all of it can be logged, tracked, and sold. With Surfshark, all that data stays in your hands. So when I'm connected to Surfshark, it encrypts everything I do online. It's like finally being able to shut the blinds on your digital life. Total privacy, total control. And honestly, it's a relief knowing I can browse freely without constantly worrying who's watching.
It's awesome, man. So now Surfshark has servers in over 100 countries,
Whoa.
meaning that I can now access content from almost any country in the world. Now, this is useful when I'm traveling because, again, I don't have to miss any of my Chelsea games. I just open the app, switch my location to the US, and it's like I've teleported home. No more missing out on the content I love just because of where I happen to be. With that in mind, we also recommend Surfshark antivirus.
Yep.
Now, we tend to think of viruses as a laptop problem, but they can hit our phones and our tablets too. And that's why Surfshark antivirus is such a smart add-on. It's built right into the app and runs quietly in the background, protecting against malware.
100%. So here's what you need to do, folks. You need to go to surfshark.com/make it, or you can use our code MAKE IT at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. There's a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee, so do not worry. Again, that's surfshark.com/make it, or use the code MAKE IT at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. So check out the show notes for all the details. Make sure you go to surfshark.com/make it to get this deal. And now back to the show. I agree.
Awesome.
I agree. Kudos to another great film Q&A. Papa Bear, you know what time it is.
Time to wake up.
Time to wake up and do some things we should know. And you know why we do this? It's because filmmaking is so hot right now. So
Here it comes.
No, whatever. Filmmaking is always hot. Filmmaking is always hot.
What did you say, Papa Bear? You wanted to hear that filmmaking?
No. Filmmaking is always hot. No, filmmaking is always hot. Things we should know, Papa Bear.
So
Come on.
Hot. Filmmaking is so hot right now. Exactly. So take us into some things we should know, please.
Well, I'm not sure how hot this will be, but and I'm not sure if this is something you may know, but Hayder, your film Rock, Paper, Scissors won the BAFTA. And for those that might not know, that's the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award. It's equivalent to the Oscar, the British equivalent to the Oscar, and a notable achievement. And I feel confident that you might attribute much of your success as a filmmaker, not only to all those roles that you had from runner to producer, but also to the school that you went to. You attended the National Film and Television School, Likely the most highly regarded film school outside of the United States. A school that first opened its doors in 1971.
I love all these leading questions and comments, Nick. It's like
it's a long, but it's almost over.
No, it's just as fun. It's like, what must he be talking about?
Well, where are we going with this?
Yes.
A school who has had many notable alumni who have gone on to create many notable works.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, who was the first National Film and Television School graduate to win a BAFTA award, and for what?
Oh my God. Nick, do we even have any shot at this?
I don't know that you guys have a chance at this. I'm not going to rule it out. I mean,
yeah. So this is a graduate of the National Film and TV School, and is that okay? There's also like Hayder, you went to the Met Film School in London as well, right? Or it was the same thing?
Yeah. No. One was at the
he
start
got his
of my
bachelor's
career.
at the Met, and then he got his.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Masters,
so someone graduated from National Film and TV. They got a BAFTA. They were the first one to do it. So the problem is well, first thing we have to answer, Nick, is when was the BAFTA created? And we have to do this without cheating and looking it up and using AI or anything like that. So how old is this award?
The BAFTA precedes the school. Okay.
It does. It does precede the school.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got that part. The other part is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to just be like, I'm conceding this already. I'm like, that's not a thing I should know. That's the thing Hayder should know. So
Hayder should know that. Yeah, we don't need to know that. That's not a thing we should know. That's a thing Hayder should know.
I can have a guess at it, but I'm going to see what you. I was giving some space to see if you guys can figure that out. But I have an idea.
Okay, it's my answer is Sean Connery. Sean Connery.
Ooh.
That's my answer.
Then what project?
Golden
Octopussy.
That's a good guess, you know.
Okay.
That's a good. You know, you've got British. You've got British, so that's good.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
We clearly have the same thing on our mind.
And gold.
We did, and Chris makes Goldfinger with Octopussy. So you know, I mean. So yeah,
okay.
I'm just going. Listen, Sean Connery, and it's a Bond movie. That's what I'm going.
Well,
with.
not every guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. So you're going with some Bond movie, Sean Connery, and that was a terrible accent. Oh my God,
it was. I don't know what that was, bro.
That was brutal. And then, like,
yeah, that's right.
Who else could we even say? Like
I mean, Roger Moore is over there too. I'm going Bond, but like I know that. I mean, that's the BAFTA. And what's crazy with the BAFTA, though, I know. But listen, the BAFTA isn't just about these actors that we're talking about. I mean, there's so many different awards that are available to the BAFTA. So it's so hard for me. Like I can't even fathom.
I know.
It could be
we're the home
short.
of Roger Deakins.
It could be for
Robert Deakins.
Gerard Depardieu.
Did you just say Gerard Depardieu?
He could have come to the school. You're right. Yeah.
It's possible.
And I try to say it like you said it too, Nick. I try to.
Don't go there.
How old is he now as well? He's he's probably been around.
Gerard Depardieu.
He's
Gerard
probably in
Depardieu.
his 90s. Yes, Gerard Depardieu.
Gerard Depardieu.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi with Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, no, Chris is over here like hawking something up in his throat.
Okay, Papa. Oh no, Hayder, what's your guess? You said you had a guess.
You said
so
Roger
I have a
Deakins.
Guess.
Oh, Roger Deakins.
No, that wasn't my guess. That was my suggestion, actually.
Oh.
My guess is, so one of the biggest exports from the National Film and Television School, the NFTS, was a chap named Nick Park, who created Wallace and Gromit, which is an animation, stop motion animation.
Yep.
And that was his
up for an Oscar last year.
Yeah, so they won the BAFTA last year for I don't know about I think they might have won the Oscar as well. but that was created as his graduation project. He did a short animation film, which then went on to be hugely successful, which has now spawned many feature films, TV series, and I think is like a national icon for the British.
Yep.
However, I don't know if that was the first BAFTA, but he was probably one of the most prolific alumni of the NFTS.
What year do you think he did that?
Wait, that wasn't in the question. You didn't say year. You said name.
He
the
just
project.
asking. He just asking.
I mean, Wallace and Gromit, I feel like it could be in the 70s or 80s. I think it feels like it could be the 70s or 80s. He could be the first.
Okay.
I bet this is a trick question. I bet it's super obscure. I bet it is Sean Connery.
That's playing it safe.
Yeah. All right, come on, man.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
Papa Bet. Let's hear it.
So, from the 1971 inaugural class of the National Film and Television School, the BAFTA for Best Documentary was awarded to director Nicholas Broomfield and his wife.
I'm going to write this down.
For his 1981 film, Soldier Girls.
Soldier Girls. Have you seen this film, Hayder?
I don't think I have.
I haven't either.
I didn't. I think a lot of the documentary, because it's specialist in the film school. So you specialize in your, you know, I specialized with producing. You can specialize as a documentary director or filmmaker. And I think that would probably be something that they would know about.
Wow.
But that's great.
Okay.
I'm actually glad that it's a documentary. I'm glad it's a documentary.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing, like, I'm just curious about that.
62% of your people would be happy about that.
There you go. Look at him remembering those numbers.
I like
but
that.
here's the thing. So is it a coincidence that the first year, you said as a graduate, first year graduate won? Now he won.
No.
No, that's what he said, right?
No. He said he graduated in 71. The movie came out in 81.
No, I know when the movie came out, but I'm saying first year graduate of the school.
No.
Right?
First graduate to win a BAFTA. The school opened in 1971, and he was in the inaugural class.
So
then he won it in
74, 73,
he
74.
earned a BAFTA.
That's what I'm saying. The first class of the school, and he wins a BAFTA. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Doesn't that prove the school?
Shout out the NFTS. You know, they're great.
Well, that does prove the school. The school has over, I think, over 13 BAFTAs now, and has been nominated for BAFTAs about over 33 times.
Wow.
But this Soldier's Girl documentary was shot in 14 weeks in Fort Gordon, Georgia, about several women training in the U.S. Army.
Wow. Give me his name again. Nicholas what? Nick what?
Broomfield.
Spell it. Papa.
I think he's quite very successful now, actually. Yeah.
Spell broom and spell field.
I got it. I got it. Nick Broomfield. It's spelled just the way it sounds. There was another documentary made in the year 2001, just 20 years later, by the renowned filmmaker Silk the Shocker, and it was about the rapper Soulja Boy. And it was amazing.
Soldier Girls. Hey, come on, man. Come on, man.
Soulja Boy.
Come on, man.
Did you have Silk the Shocker on your bingo card today, Nick?
Come on now. No.
Well, I think Hayder mentioned Roger Deakins.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's been very prolific.
Of course.
Yeah, he's won 5 BAFTAs. But the first
GOAT.
one was in 2001. Yeah.
I still can't get over that scene he shot in 1916, Papa Bear. Was that the war
1917
film that he did? 1917. Sorry, I still can't get over that. I can't get over that shot. I can't get over the running shot
as he's running when it's kind of like.
Yes, I can't get over it. Like I still to this day, I'm like, because when you find out he didn't use, like when you find out what he used to do it, it was like it was basic filmmaking, like it was filmmaking 101 stuff. I don't. That sounds too simplistic. He didn't use any tricks. He had a camera. He had a rig on a rail and just moved with them. And when
and that whole film,
when he jumped into the bunker,
one continuous shot.
Yeah.
The one.
I just can't get over that. The way that movie was shot made that movie in a lot of ways to me fantastic. So yeah, Deakins is the man. I'm not surprised he's won a ton of BAFTAs. Just for anybody out there that's like not clued in, that's not clocking, to quote Justin Bieber, Silk the Shocker is not a renowned filmmaker, and he did not make a documentary called Soldier Boy.
And you know, I'm laughing on the inside that my man is quoting Justin Bieber. But besides that, I just want
he's a relevant guy, you know. That's a Justin Bieber.
Exactly.
50 years from now, he's going to be a legendary guy, you know.
That's right. He's the Biebs, right? He's the Biebs. See, he's on the Biebs. But I will say again, right? I am going to reiterate, which means I'm going to double down on the simple fact that that's the thing Hayder should know.
That is. And Papa Bear, you did the damn thing again. That is definitely a thing that Hayder should know. I guarantee he's dropping that on somebody at his very next cocktail party.
That's right. He is. He's like,
very next cocktail party. Let me tell you something 100%. About let me just share.
No, from the school that I went to. That's
Broomfield.
No, you understand the first inaugural class. That's how it's going to start. You understand the first inaugural class.
Exactly.
They should ask that question before you're coming in, before they accept you in the school.
Another tidbit for those that might be checking it out.
Okay.
Bill Forsyth was also a graduate of the National Film and Television School.
All right.
He had one out in 1981 as well. Well, I missaid that. He went to the school.
Mm-hmm.
He did get a BAFTA in 1981, but he only went to the school for 3 months. He never graduated.
Oh, God.
He's the Howard Rourke of filmmaking.
Yeah, so he could have gotten the
dropout.
He tied, for the same year, but he wasn't a graduate.
He learned all he needed to learn. He was out of there.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm good.
He was already making movies before he went there. So
lucky duck.
Well, one tidbit for you,
go ahead.
Papa Bear,
please.
Is that one of the alumni, one of our most famous alumni, was a director called David Yates, who was the director of the Harry Potter movies.
Yep.
Yes, he was. Yes. I found him in the list as well.
There's this big online kerfuffle about Harry Potter. Have you guys read this?
He's very famous.
About Harry Potter, like what's going on. This kerfuffle about the fact that, like, when you rewatch the Harry Potter films, Harry doesn't actually do anything. It's just all his homies,
all his friends.
All his friends do everything. Harry Harry gets all the credit. He gets all the credit
because his name is on the title card.
Yeah, but really, it's Hermione and the redheaded dude that's doing everything.
He just comes in and I'll take the lot. He'll buy all the food off the train and then no one else can. Some guy's waiting for a sandwich at the other end of the train. He's like, oh man, that Harry kid took all of the sandwiches? Come on.
Right. Bro, and Chris, you're everybody who's not a Harry Potter fan. Literally, you're everybody. When you said Hermione, because everybody knows Hermione's name. And then redheaded dude.
Redheaded dude.
Redhead dude.
We don't know his name.
I told you, bro. I told you how I grew up.
Yeah, hey, just saying.
I didn't have time for it.
No, this
in these
Hermione.
streets.
I think his name's Frodo.
Right. If these
Frodo, Hermione, and Harry.
Dude,
you're gonna get like a million people believing that thing right now. So.
Hey man, the dude, what's his name that played Frodo, Nick? Lovely guy. Love that dude. What's his name?
Frodo and Bilbo.
Frodo's Papa Bear.
I can see I can see him. Hold on.
Elijah Wood.
Anyway, I was just gonna say Elijah Wood. I was just gonna say he's got big eyeballs. Yeah. You know, like you ever notice like Elijah Wood?
There you go.
That's what he's known
He's
for.
great. That's like
his massive
I'm
balls.
saying he
That's
stands
what
out
he's known
because of
for.
that.
You're right.
It's his most famous trick.
His Frodo's.
He's known for his Frodo's. I love that.
That's right.
That
Yes,
is-
I like it. I
all
like
right,
it a lot.
Papa Bear. That was definitely a thing we should know, and I just want to congratulate you for that joke, Hayder. That was fantastic. And now we can move on to some clear the set.
Let's clear.
Hayder, are you ready? Are you ready to clear the set, Hayder?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We'll start it off. What are your top 3 films?
Ooh, Coach Carter.
Ooh,
Inception.
I'm already surprised, intrigued.
Inception.
And about that.
Oh, okay. They're not ranked. They're not like top first, second, third, right? These are just top 3 films.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to come out with a really controversial one. I'm going to say Babylon.
Oh, wow. I love Babylon.
Love that opening.
I love the opening. If you want to know what it's like to like come up in the film industry as it was growing, like I just think Babylon it came out in a weird time in culture.
It did.
And if it came out again today, it would be up for Film of the Year.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how good that's how good it is. That's what I thought about Babylon, and I just think it gets a bad rap. By the way, the reason Nick, and for those listening that didn't see it, Nick cringed when he said Inception. The reason why is because he can't get over the top not falling at the end.
Bro, we just had this again. This is back to my Reddit people. We had this conversation. It's like freaking amazing movie, and then you get to the ending, and I'm like, man, forget this movie. Like stupid ass. Like the
movie is great.
I'm moving furniture. I am moving furniture at the end of that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm that heated about that movie, and it's like, and my son just asked me about it the other day, and I was like, yeah, you got to watch that movie. It's really good, but it holds a special part of my heart, man. I tell you that much.
What do you think? Dream or no dream? Is he gone deeper?
I'm not even going to answer that question because that's what it did to me at the end. It's like you can't even answer that question. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, because remember, like you're trying to figure that out for yourself as the audience, but then at the same time, you're like, well, what does the artist intend? It's like when you go to a restaurant, right? I don't want to put a bunch of extra stuff on the food because I want to eat it as the chef intended, and that was my problem with that dag burn movie. I don't know what the chef intended.
Yeah, that's fair. I used to go to this restaurant called Susie Wong's House of Yum, and you weren't allowed.
That was a restaurant, bro. Yeah. That sounds like a massage parlor. Let's say what it is.
I'm not saying they didn't do other things. I'm not saying they didn't do other things. You got to do more than one thing in today. If you want to survive, okay. At Susie Wong's House of Yum, they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you change any menu items. If you're allergic to it, go somewhere else.
That's right.
You didn't like that, go somewhere else. And you knew what the chef. You knew what the chef wanted, what intended. Like if you don't taste it the way he made it, get the.
You ain't gonna taste it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Thank you.
So okay.
But then you see, I don't know. You see people when they as soon as the food gets.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go on. No, I was just going to say, sometimes you see people,
go ahead,
as the food comes, they put that pepper and the salt, they haven't even tasted it yet. They're just like, let me try that on there without even tasting it yet. So I don't know.
Yep, I can't with that.
I was told by a close friend of me and Nick's actually, that he did a consulting interview with, I think, BCG, one of the big consulting firms here in the US. And they take you to dinner and they see if you do that. And if you do that, you're out.
Damn.
Yep.
Vicious. So you just gave us some secret sauce?
Secret interview stuff. They take you to dinner. Do not salt and pepper your food before you taste it. They are watching you. Everything is a test.
Hey, I'm going to sign up for an interview tomorrow. I hope I get that dinner date interview. And I'm not going to salt nor pepper my food. I'm going to salt and pepper their food and see what happens.
Give this guy a raise. Give this guy a job.
You're gonna.
He thinks outside the box.
That's right. I know what you want.
Yeah. it's so perverse, intriguing. Like Hired.
Pulls out the
That's
Tabasco
right.
sauce. That's Tabasco.
Yes, this is a great. It's a great idea, Nick. I love that. They've never seen that before.
Got you,
the
bro.
boldness, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's like testing somebody else's fries for them. Crispy.
That's right. Boom, 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 boom.
Delicious. All right, Hayder. Name the film you're embarrassed to admit you haven't seen.
Oh, you know what? It's a long list of films that I haven't
Sound
seen.
of Music. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen. I don't know if I'm embarrassed. The Sound of Music I haven't seen as well, actually. So, but I don't know if I'm embarrassed by this, but I haven't seen Grease.
Okay.
Oh, I missed it. You know, I missed it.
Love it.
I never got around to seeing it.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on your age. You know,
you're young.
But
I can see how
that's what I'm saying. So, like,
that.
are you like when you? Here's the spirit of that question, Hayder. You're with your filmmaking friends, and they're all talking about this movie, and you kind of get tempted to lie. They kind of get tempted to lie and say you saw it too. You just start nodding along with them because you can't bear to say out loud that I haven't seen it.
You know how people be like, "Oh yeah, Gone with the Wind." Yeah, you haven't seen that movie.
Well,
you have no desire to see that movie, and it's supposed to be film canon. You haven't seen it.
Well, it used to be Citizen Kane, right? It's like,
no, that's part of it too, man. Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, Birds. You know what I'm saying? Like you see some stuff like
Godfather,
Hitchcock,
right? Like
Scarface.
Is there a movie like that for you, Hayder?
5, 6. Yeah, Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6.
I don't know about that, bro. That's not canon.
That's the idea. It's just like, is there a movie like that for you where it's like you would be tempted to lie and just say, "Yeah, I've seen it too," and then hope you don't get called out on it?
He just said it. Star Wars 4, 5, and
6.
Is
it the Star Wars series? Same for me, but again, not embarrassed.
I've seen Episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's good enough. That's
no, it's not.
It's already too many.
No, Chris, 1, 2, and 3 is not enough. Those movies were garbage compared to 4, 5, and 6. Come on now, the prequels. Everybody's like,
I think I was out once they introduced Jar Jar Binks and Haydenson.
I'm sorry. It was ridiculous. Yeah, Jar Jar. But I'm not. We're not going to get there. We're not going to go there because we're not trying to piss off the Star Wars people.
Love you, Star Wars people.
Exactly, we love you with all.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've just been cancelled by the Star Wars people now. I don't know. Like if you've got a lot of Star Wars people. I've seen parts of all of them.
The Star Trek people will embrace you with open arms.
Exactly, but 4, 5, and 6 is legit. 1, 2, and 3 is I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen parts of it. Okay, so
Hayder.
Before I get crucified by your people, I have seen. I've seen
many.
Just not all of it.
Yeah, you go over to somebody's house, they've got it on TV, you look at it a little while.
I've seen it. I just not seen all of it.
What else you got on this, man?
What was that? What was the name of this? You just reminded me, Papa Bear, of what was when I hosted that fundraiser earlier this year at the African American Museum. What was the name of the film that Mark Ruffalo was in? Do you remember the name of that movie? Mark Ruffalo was in.
Oh, it's so memorable.
Yeah, it was very memorable. I'll never forget the movie, but I can't remember the name of it. Actually, it was like, but basically, it was about HIV in the 80s in the U.S. Hayder, and I had to watch this film to prepare for I had to watch the whole film, right, and just take notes to prepare to host this event that was featuring this film. Okay. And if you guys get the name while I'm talking, just say it. And there's a lot of homosexuality in it, right? And it's very full frontal, like nudity, all the stuff. Okay. And I am playing this because in my brother-in-law's condo, and it's on, and he's watching it with me, just talking back and forth to all the people in the room. And I mean, every part of the human body and anatomy has been seen and used at this point. We're 30, 45 minutes into the movie. Okay. He turns to me and says in full sincerity and with no irony whatsoever, do you realize that everyone in this movie is gay?
It's the 80s. Like that was
have
the
you
thing,
been
wasn't it?
watching
Yeah.
this movie at all? The opening
Yeah.
scene was a penis. It was the opening scene. It was the first pan shot. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, people watching movies in the background, they're not always watching the movie, PB. That's the point. Okay, Hayder, name the film everyone loves, but you hate.
Ooh. Movie that everybody loves, but I hate.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should have something really quick for this. What was that noise? I heard some sort of sound. The movie that everybody loves, but I hate. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? For me to hate a film,
this is the one, but you're like, no, not for me. Nick just did it with Inception.
Can I say one that's recent?
Yes, and please.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a controversial one because quite a lot of people love this film. And I love the filmmaker, but I just this film for me, I was very confused as to why this film was made. And again, love the filmmaker, big supporter, but all of the music, the storytelling, I'm like, are you guys watching this film was really celebrated. And I'm like, did you guys watch the same film as me? And it was Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest. Have you seen it?
I don't think everybody loves that film.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I did not know what was happening there. I am with you. Listen, if we're in the minority, Hayder, we stand hand in hand. We stand strong against this wave of like, we must love everything Spike Lee and Denzel does, because this was not one, wasn't it?
People loved it. Most of the people I spoke to loved it.
They?
And they were even talking about the nuanceness of it. Because for me, the music
that's that bullshit.
I don't know. I don't see why they loved it, because what confused me about that film.
Hayder.
One of
the No, go. I got something for you after that. Go.
No, I'm curious. Tell me.
This is like that bullshit that I hear. I'm sorry, man. I had to say it. I just, you know what I'm saying? I was about to say bull hockey or something, but I was like, that bullshit.
I mean, Mark, put this moment in a bottle and cork it. We got Nick to curse.
I don't be doing it. So here's the thing. It's like when you go to a wine tasting and you sip the wine, and the sommelier who's standing there introducing the wines to you says, and this wine has some very nice blackberry notes, and you can taste the oceanic region from which it comes. And everyone in the room says, oh, yes, I can taste the blackberry. Oh, yes, I can taste the salt water from that oceanic region. And you're like, bullshit. Because you're like, you cannot taste that. You are just reiterating what they want you to say. And it's the same thing with some of these films. It's like, you just want to be a supporter of the thing. So you just reiterate the positive energy that people are trying to, have around this thing. But you don't feel it. You don't know it. And you just try it's bullshiggery. And I don't enjoy the bullshiggery, even if it is for someone as wonderful as Spike Lee and someone as wonderful as Denzel, because of course their careers are storied. But come on,
Rocky
people.
in that as well. Listen,
and the music,
just say it tastes like wine.
And he was acting in it too. If you want to rage scream, watch the Apple TV Plus show Drops of God. They take these people take sips of wine and have organs. It's unbelievable.
No.
It's like they taste bark, they taste chemical, they taste
walnut.
They taste walnut. They taste like
the oceanic
like the big climax is they had to pick the notes, and like one of the notes was fern. and it was like
No, sorry. No, when you can
and it
taste
got to the point where
regional
it's like, do
oak,
I want to
bro.
drink Fern anyway?
No. If you can taste
But
regional
that's the
oak,
magic of
you're full of it.
wine is that you taste the
Mhm.
Fern,
But
and
if
when it
you don't
mixes
taste it,
with the
then you must
kumquat.
be some uneducated person, you know? It's like, oh, if you didn't get it, dude. Oh, you don't get it, you know? Like, oh,
Mm.
highest to lowest. Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't get it. You didn't get it. You're like, nah, dude, I got it. There was nothing to get.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Thank
Exactly.
you for saying what needed to be said, Hayder.
Ugh.
Favorite cheat day meal? You look like a fit man. Favorite cheat day meal for you?
Oh, I love a smash burger.
Yep.
I
Ooh.
love a smash burger. You know what? That came a little too
From where?
quickly. Favorite film? Oh, I couldn't tell you. Favorite food? Smash burger.
Nice.
Where do you get
We got
yours
our kids
from?
on that. They enjoyed that.
Yeah. Where from?
Where do you get your
You know
smash
what?
burgers from? Yeah.
I love a Shake Shack. I love
Yeah.
a Shake Shack.
Hard
I
to
could eat
beat.
Shake Shack 3 days a week. You know,
Wow.
them crinkle cut
My man's like, cheat,
fries.
cheat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I
Yep.
could eat that now.
He's saying it.
I could, you know, here's one I saved earlier, you know, I could eat that now.
You mentioned it earlier in the show that you've been all over the world with this film, but you've been all over the world in general. Most underrated vacation spot?
Mm.
Ooh, most underrated. You know what? I think because I've just come from there, it comes to my mind immediately. But I think Guadalajara in Mexico. I think a lot of people go to Mexico, they go to
I like
Tulum,
that.
they go to Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
it's very easy to go to these beach spots, or Mexico City for the
Yep.
Aztecas or the Mayans. You know, I can see why they would go to that. But having just come back from Guadalajara in Mexico, what a beautiful people, what a beautiful city. You know, there's so much to see, so much to experience. And one of the big things that that I liked about Guadalajara as well is the distance to tequila. Tequila is a designated, protected area. So, like, champagne can only be called champagne if it comes from the region of
From
Champagne.
France.
Tequila, yeah, in France, tequila can only be called tequila if it's made in the tequila region. And I did a full tour of tequila. I tried a load of tequila. You know, interestingly, there's a little bit of swirling. They're like, you know, there's notes of citrus or notes of. So there is a little bit of that as well. And that whole thing is fun. But Guadalajara, Mexico, if you haven't been there, it is well worth a trip of its own. Visit it on its own. It doesn't have to be a little stop off. It's a very beautiful place.
I love that. We've never got that answer before, so we appreciate that. Last question, and we clear the set on this. What's a book everybody should read?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think, and this might be very specific for me as a producer, and this might go towards the whole value creation element as well. I read Shoe Dog by Philip Knight. And Shoe
Okay,
Dog
I'm gonna write that down.
is the story of how Nike became Nike. And it's a really interesting book that if you're interested in business, if you're interested in how Nike, you know, a lot of people tend to kind of look at a lot of these brands around us and they just assume that this is how life has always been. This has always existed. Like, Nike has always been a giant. Nike's been around since before certain people. You know, there's people out there that it's before their time. They don't know a world without Nike. But someone created Nike. Someone built it from the ground. Someone had that vision. Someone went out there and they did it and they made it. And now Nike is who they are now. And this is the book and the story of Phil Knight, who is the creator of Nike. And you get to see into the insights a little bit of how that came to exist. And I think that's really, even as a filmmaker, that's really interesting to see, because as a filmmaker, especially as a producer, part of my role is to kind of go out there and create something that didn't already exist. You know,
Yeah.
Disney is not a brand, it's a person's surname. Favorite Disney princess, Disney film, Disney pajamas, Disney Plus, Disney everything, you know, like that was someone's story that they started and they made something. So yeah, Phil Knight, Shoe Dog.
Yeah. Love it. That is great. And we have now officially cleared the set. Hayder, you've been incredible. This has been so much fun. We could probably do this for 2 more hours.
See, I told you.
But just so the audience knows, Hayder's sitting in London right now. It's got to be at least 1:30 a.m. in the morning right now.
It's 2 plus
Or
o'clock in the morning,
It's
bro.
it's two,
Is he
it's
2:36?
2:36. That's how much fun it's been. The time's flying. Hayder's up with us right now, folks. He is hanging
Yeah.
with us.
Let's do
It's
another episode. We could do
2:36
that.
a.m.
Yes.
in the morning. So we're going to respect that. Can you
Yeah.
tell everybody where they can find you on social media, find you on the internet, support your work, watch your work, and follow your journey?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram on hoozeer.film. That's HOOZEER.film. You can follow Rock, Paper, Scissors as we're going into the Oscars campaign. We're contenders for the Oscars 2026. So it'd be really cool to keep an eye out for us. The film is rps.film. It's been an incredible journey with that film. I'd love to share it with everybody so that they can keep track of it, and also the journey of that too, you know, from humble filmmaker to BAFTA-winning to Oscar-winning, hopefully. Keep an eye out. Let's see if there's any way to kind of keep in touch.
Absolutely. We love that. I'm going to go ahead and give him a clap for that. If we can, let's just cheer it up for him. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I know you're
sir.
going to do it. We'll end on this like we do every podcast, every episode, every conversation. What does it mean to make it?
What does it mean to make it? I think there is something that a lot of people tend to go out and seek within themselves in whatever field that they choose to go to. And I think for me, to make it is being able to kind of be present and looking back at how far I've come to where I am now, and to think back at what I wanted then. And whilst I look forwards to what I want in the future, I'm living what I would have wanted as a kid right now. And I think for me, it's being able to kind of be present and take a beat to see that.
Love it, man. Thank you so much for that. And again, Nick, and Papa Bear, I don't think we've had that answer before. And the thing I love about that little quick segment is that it's unique to each individual guest that we have. And so you can get a different expression of what making it is, you know, as we get different guests from different backgrounds to come on the show. So Hayder, once again, thank you. Thank you to the audience for hanging in. If you're watching this, you can find us at YouTube at The Make It Podcast. If you are listening to it on Apple or Spotify, come over to YouTube, find us at The Make It Podcast, subscribe, like. If you're already watching this, subscribe, like, of course. That's very, very helpful. But if you can only listen to us and or you want to listen to this as well, you can find us on Apple and Spotify and Amazon and all the places as well. If you go over there, 5 stars there. If you got 30 seconds, leave us a review. That'd be awesome. You can reach out to us directly at _Make It Podcast. That's on Instagram, TikTok, and X. So on all 3 of those platforms, you can follow us again, _Make It Podcast. Again, we reply to 100% of all DMs, messages, comments. So definitely engage with us. We'll follow up with you sincerely and quickly as well. So with that, Nick, can you please leave us with the credo?
Of course. And before I do that, I have to let Hayder know that if he wants to find success with his film Rock, Paper, Scissors on the islands of Hawaii, then it's important that he also put the title, just a Hawaiian specific title of Junk in a Po. Because in Hawaii, instead of saying rock, paper, scissors, they say junk in a Po. Bet y'all didn't know that. That's a thing.
You should know.
You should know.
Junk in a Po.
Exactly. Junk in a Po. And with that, I will say Hayder, this is awesome. We appreciate you. We appreciate your authenticity. We appreciate your openness. We appreciate the fact that you are helping us to educate, inspire, and entertain our audience out there, filmmakers and film lovers alike. And with that, I will have to say to our filmmaking friends, family, fans, and followers out there, be better, be creative, be engaged.
And thank you for listening. Nick, Papa Bear, talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. We'll do
See
this
ya.
again. And again, big ups to Hayder.
Hayder, appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a real
Thank you.
pleasure.
Absolutely. Peace, everybody.